All right, I was feeling kind of cute today wearing my Walmart grays, and I decided to go live. Got a few dogs in here. Who's in here? Rosie and Zico and Snorio's back here. Anyway, I want to talk about puppies. Particularly, I'm just going to give you an example of Zico and what I did with him, and I think this will help some people because you hear a lot of stuff, socialization and this kind of stuff, and people really don't understand genetics matter, environment, what you do, it matters too, but they're doing a lot of the wrong stuff, and they're taking puppies, and they want to make sure, especially an example, pit bulls, you hear about the aggression, so they want to make sure that they socialize them. And what people don't understand is that, like I said, genetics are such a huge thing. And so they start to take the puppy out, and everywhere they go, they have it meeting people and meeting dogs, and they have it playing with dogs and this and that. And you're going to run into problems with this. The very best thing that you're going to have coming out of that usually is you're going to have a dog that's going to get excited as hell when it sees people and when it sees dogs. And it's going to start to pull and this and that. If there's a little fear there, you're going to make the dog reactive. And I'm not going to get into why, but that's going to occur. So you have a dog that actually wants that, and they're going to start to pull. They're doing agitation work, and they're causing craziness every time they see a person and a dog. If they don't want this, and there's a little fear, or they just or they don't want this, then you start with the barking, the reactivity. It looks like aggression because they actually don't want to go into these kinds of situations. Anyway, I don't want to go through all of that stuff. What I want to get into, Zico, an example. Okay, I got Zico at 8 weeks old, and I wanted to make sure he was cool. All of my dogs, because I have dog aggressive dogs, pit bulls and stuff, crazy pack. And I bring him in, and I get everything working and stuff. And we go out, we go for walks, the whole pack. We go out to the field, and he's out in the field, and he's playing with them. And this went on for, I don't know, maybe like a week or so. And you notice that now Zico is more interested in the dogs than me. So we go out, and in the house, he's interested in them more than me. We go out to the field. He's interested in them, right? So quickly what I did was we wake up, Zico goes out and he pees, and if he has to poo, he goes back in the crate. I take my pack out. My pack does all of their stuff. They play and this and that. I come back, and Zico goes out with me. And Zico and I learn to play. We learn to play together. Zico learned that we go outside, and him and I are going to play Ivan's games. And we started to play tug, and we started to play ball, and everything outside when we went outside was based around me and Zico. And I did this minimum 2 sessions a day, sometimes 4 sessions a day, where we would go out and play. But everything outside was me and him. And once he started to understand playing and stuff, then I would start to bring him out, parks and this and that. And there would be people around, and there'd be dogs around, and he would ignore them completely and play with me. Once this was a solid foundation, I incorporated him back into the pack the 2 or 3 times a day when I take my whole pack out to the field. And we would go out to the field, and Zico was really not interested in doing much with the other dogs. He was interested in me, and I could train him. I could play ball with him. He played ball. Him and Jade chase the ball together. Whoever gets it first, they bring it back and this and that. So he could, but they could play these games, and he was really interested in me. He wasn't interested in just going off with dogs. Okay. And I think that's just a huge, huge thing. So when I bring Zico anywhere, it was me and Zico, right? Um, and he's not unsocialized, you know. He learned when we went out that he can look at the rest of the world and he doesn't have to react. He doesn't have to go out. He doesn't have to go and run to other dogs, people, and stuff. And it just creates this really nice thing where he's not crazy about the rest of the world. And that's the example I wanted to tell here, because it's really often missed, and people bring their puppies and their dogs and stuff. Every time they bring them out, they want to go to the dog parks and stuff. And the dog parks, of course, there's many reasons why you don't want to do that. But one reason is that most of the time people bring their dogs there because they want their dogs to get their fulfillment from other dogs. They want them to play with dogs. They don't play with their dogs. The people don't play with their dogs. They bring them there so they can play with other dogs. And I think that's a mistake. Not that dogs shouldn't play together. Zico plays with the whole pack here. When I was doing that stuff where I separated him when we went out to the field, he was still in the house. He lived with other dogs. He played with them here, and of course there was times where we went outside together, and he was playing with this whole pack here. But the majority of that time when we went out in the beginning, it was me and him, and we were going to experience the world, me and him together, and we were going to play, we were going to do all of these things, and I was increasing his drive to play, teaching him to play too. But I just think there's a lot of mistakes, and you don't want your dog to get fulfillment elsewhere. You don't want the dog to get all of this stuff with other dogs, people and stuff. It's you and a dog. And if you got a dog, man, take it out and play with it. One of the best things you could ever do is play with it. And training a dog with food versus training a dog play, not going to get into that now. It's a very different thing. Very different thing. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. So if you have a puppy, take it out yourself and play with it yourself, right? You don't need to like brush it off on other dogs at the dog park and stuff. Just take it outside yourself and play with it, bond with it, right? Teach your dog that you and the dog can experience the world together. It doesn't need to go running to dogs and this every time it sees dogs and stuff. All right, over and out.